Hey everyone, as you can obviously see from the title, I'm currently in the process of researching and most likely picking up a Ford Raptor before the end of the year. I recently moved into this new house and I've been wanting to get a pickup truck for a while because owning a house and having a pickup truck, especially if you're doing a lot of projects, they kind of go hand in hand. It really is an invaluable tool. So originally I was looking at something probably more basic pickup truck, but if you follow the channel, you know I recently sold both my sports cars. So because of that, I wanted to get something a little bit nicer, a little fancier, a little bit sportier. Something that's a good mix between a pickup truck capabilities, towing, hauling, 4x4, and also performance-based as well. And as I started doing my research, I found that the Raptor was really the only viable option that kind of met all that criteria. I've always liked the Raptors from the first generation, and now they have the newer second generation trucks. So I started to do a little bit of research, kind of reading the forums, what owners thought. I have a couple coworkers that have them, getting their opinion, and it seems like a lot of owners really like the trucks. So before I started to get really serious and commit to buying one, I gave my friend a call, who is a senior Ford mechanic for over 20 years. And anytime I want to buy any sort of Ford vehicle, I always run it past him first because he steered me in the right direction before, steered me away from vehicles that have been problematic. So I call him up and I said, all right, I'm looking at buying a Raptor. What's the deal with these things? Between the twin turbos and the 10-speed transmissions and all this new technology in these things, are you guys seeing any problems? What's your no BS answer? And he said the Raptors have been really good. These second-gen Raptors have been really good. They haven't had any widespread problems, no issues. They've been really solid trucks. So once I got his seal of approval, I decided to get really serious into looking into these things about potentially purchasing one. Now, as I started reading a lot on the forums, probably the most common and most controversial thing that kept coming up was the pricing on these things. It seems like the pricing is all over the map on these things. I've read guys are saying they're paying $1,000 above invoice and they're getting these things for a great deal. And then I'm seeing other people saying, I have gone all over the state to dozens of dealerships and I can't find any Raptors remotely close to MSRP. So for me, this is not gonna be a primary vehicle. It's not gonna be a daily driver. It's gonna be needed for the times I need a pickup truck, when I'm towing, I'm hauling, I need four-wheel drive, or I just need it to use it because my primary vehicle is down for maintenance or repairs or whatever it may be. But it's going to be a backup vehicle. It's mostly going to stay in the garage, and I'm not going to be pouring the miles on this thing. So it's basically a toy. I don't need this thing. And if I'm going to end up having to pay over MSRP, I'm not going to buy this thing because I'm not playing these games that I'm reading all these dealers are playing with these crazy markups, this market adjustment pricing they call it. So I call my buddy back. I'm like, look, who's the guy to talk to at the dealer that does the Raptors? He goes, this guy's name is Tom. He's really good. Talk to him. He does all our Raptor ordering. Okay. So before I decide I'm going to buy one of these things, it's time to talk to Tom about what the pricing is with these things. So I go into the dealership. I talked to one gentleman. I'm like, hey, it's Tom, and I understand he's the Raptor guy. He goes, yeah, Tom's our resident Raptor guy. Unfortunately, he's not in today, but is there anything that I can help you with? Any questions? I was like, all right, I do have a bunch of questions. He goes, all right, I'm not the expert, but I'll see what questions I can answer for you. I was like, all right, no problem. So we sit down at his desk, and I say, all right, first thing, what's the deal with the pricing on these things? Because I've heard the pricing is everywhere. I was like, do you guys charge over MSRP for these things? He says, no, I can tell you that with 100% confidence. We do not charge over MSRP at all, ever, on these things. I'm like, okay, that's good. That was my main question, whether or not I was really going to buy one of these things. If he said they charge over MSRP, I was just going to walk out, and that was going to be the end of that because like I said, it's a toy. I don't need this thing. So I was like, all right. The next thing is I'm probably going to end up ordering it because I want kind of a unique spec truck. What's the deal with ordering these things? He goes, well, that you probably have to talk to Tom about. He goes, I've heard that the ordering can come in really quick, or they can take a long time to come in. So he goes, you definitely have to talk to him about that because that I'm not 100% sure about. So talked to him a little bit more, and then I left. Stopped in about 2 weeks later. Tom was there. So I was like, hi, Tom. I introduced myself. I talked to one of the other salesmen about the Raptors. I understand you're the resident Raptor guy. I just have some questions for you. He goes, absolutely, not a problem. So we sit down, I said, all right, I just want to confirm, you guys do not charge over MSRP ever on this thing? He goes, absolutely not. We never, ever charge over MSRP for these trucks. Now let me start off by saying this is not a sponsored video. I'm not getting any breaks on pricing on these things. I'm just putting this information out there to help potential Raptor owners who don't want to play this game with these other dealerships play. Because I'll get into the allotments and how they get a lot of allotments on these things in a minute. But that's my little disclaimer I just want to put out right away. So I said, all right, so you guys don't charge over MSRP on these things. What's the deal with ordering? He goes, I was like, how long did it realistically take? He goes, well, it kind of depends on when the order goes in, what part of the year it is. But he goes, typically you're probably looking at a couple of months. So it was like, all right, well, that's not too bad. Because I was hearing like 6 months from some people. He goes, no, it doesn't take that long. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm like, well, what's the deal with the allotments? Do you have to, or should you order by a certain time? Like, do you guys run out of allotments? He goes, well, here's the deal with our allotments. He goes, we get a lot of allotments in general because we're a large volume dealership as it is. And the other part of this that I didn't know was they have won, that dealership has won Ford's President's Award over 20 years in a row. Now, Ford's President's Award, that I actually had to look it up, it has to do with their like customer satisfaction and like repairs not coming back or they're being done right the first time. And there's very few dealerships who get it every year as it is, but to get it 20 years in a row, she said there's only a handful of dealerships in the country that won it that many times. So because they've won it so many years in a row, they get additional allotments. So he was telling me they have a ton of allotments left. This was back in March. They have a ton of allotments left for 19, and they'll be getting a ton of allotments for 2020. So he's like, look, I'll do whatever you want. If you want to order a 19 now, if you want to wait for the 20s, we'll do it. He goes, we can get them. That's not a problem. It makes no difference to us. I'll order whatever you want to order. So it's like, all right, well, we're getting kind of towards close to when the 19s are going to stop production at 20, so I'm probably going to wait because I want to see if they tweak the specs a little bit, any different colors come in. He goes, absolutely. He goes, that's fine. He goes, you don't have to worry about with the pricing getting marked up or anything like that because the owner of the dealership only really cares about obviously his integrity and winning those awards. So he never marks these things up like that. So I'm like, all right, well, that's good to know. So I was like, all right, I'm probably going to end up going around now and just kind of looking at different trucks, looking at the colors, the options, because unfortunately, unlike the regular F-150s where a lot of dealers have like 50 or 100 trucks in stock Raptors, most dealers only have 1, 2. There's really only a few dealers that have like a bunch in stock. So I want to start going around. He goes, yeah, absolutely. You give me a call anytime if you want to order something, if you want to wait. He was telling me typically they will start to get the information on the new ones around July. And they will be available for order probably around August. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'm probably going to wait. Like I said, I'm going to wait till the 20s come out and then go from there. So I was real happy speaking to him. Tom was a real gentleman. I will put his information in the description below. If anybody, I'm in New Jersey in the Northeast. So if anybody's in this area and wants to order a Raptor and not, because a lot of the dealerships around, I'll get into that in my next video about these price markups, play this game big time. Now, I think part of it, the markups are when they get the trucks, like how far, if it's like just getting into the model year, if they just got like 1 or 2, versus now I'm seeing more and more dealerships say they're selling them below MSRP, probably because the 19s are nearing the end of their lifespan before the 20s come out. But it's just nice to know that I won't have to worry about paying these markups, regardless of what time of the year I order it. In the next video, I'm going to get into talking about what I experienced going to different dealerships, looking at different colors and options in person.